Parque. A onda é ser feliz agora. Apresenta Pode Impactar.
Olá, eu sou Mariana Marques e esse é o Pode Impactar, uma série de conversas sobre impacto social e sobre o vislumbre de um futuro possível, com lutas presentes pautadas na fraternidade, na igualdade, na prosperidade e na sustentabilidade. Hoje é um grande dia para nós, porque estou aqui com o maior nome dessa nova economia mundial, que é o professor Muhammad Yunus, que está aqui do meu lado e a quem eu vou saudá-lo. Peço licença para você para saudá-lo em inglês, mas vamos continuar a entrevista em português. It's an honor to have you here today, Professor. It's a big day not only for us, for this beautiful team here in front of us, but for our state, for our country. We have so many stories and projects inspired by your legacy here in Brazil. So I thank you for your time. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'll be delighted to interact with you, to explain what we have been doing.
Pessoal, eu peço licença para vocês para fazer essa entrevista em português. A gente tem aqui uma tradutora conosco, que é a Letícia Albuquerque, e ela vai nos ajudar a nos comunicar. É importante que a gente faça essa entrevista na nossa língua mãe. Professor, a primeira coisa que eu queria dizer para você é que eu penso que a mensagem mais forte que passa para nós da sua história, do seu legado, é que você é o primeiro economista a ganhar um Nobel da Paz. Isso me leva a perguntar aonde é que a economia, onde é que essa ciência encontra a paz? Onde é que a economia e a paz se encontram?
Well, that's what we are trying to do, how to bring the economics to address that issue of peace. It's not about making money. Today, economics that we know is all centered towards objective of maximizing our profit. We're saying human beings are much bigger than that. They can do many things, not only just make money, they can change the whole world. So one part of human being is utilized within the economic theory, in the framework of economic story. Other parts are not used. So that's the part that we want to explain how this can be brought in and address the problem that other part has created. All the problems of environment, the crisis of environment, crisis of poverty, crisis of unemployment, all this come from the way we have formulated the economic structure. So unless we change those structures, change those concepts, we will not be able to get out of it. And as a result, we'll be rushing towards self-destruction. Our end is coming closer and closer because of the problems that we have created. So we come up with our inputs into it, how to redesign the economic system.
E o que me chama a atenção é que esteja tão claro, e ainda bem que está tão claro, que nós hoje não precisamos escolher entre lucrar e impactar, entre lucrar e mudar o mundo. A gente pode ter os dois, não é?
You can have both if you want. It's a question of what role you see as a human being on this planet. As a child, as you grow up, as we go to school, academic institutions, this issue has to be discussed again and again. What am I here for? What do I do on this planet? Today we don't raise that question. We simply say, grow up, get a good degree, get a good job. As if life ends there. I say human life is much, much bigger than that. Human life is about creativity, human life is about changing the world for a better way of doing things and so on. So that aspect has to be brought in by the academic system, discussed among themselves, among the young people, to find the role in this planet, to find out what is the purpose of my life on this planet. So there is no purpose now. It's all about making money. Money, it cannot be a purpose. Human being is much bigger than just money. Its creativity can define a newer and newer world each generation. So that's what we should be concentrating on.
E eu penso que é uma tarefa que compreende todos nós, né? No seu livro, que o professor Yunus está lançando um livro no Brasil, que é um mundo de 3 zeros, a nova economia de zero pobreza, zero desemprego e zero emissões líquidas de carbono. Uma coisa me chamou a atenção, que é deixar claro que a história de uma mulher numa oficina de costura em Bangladesh está intimamente ligada à história de um banqueiro em Wall Street. Então, é a ideia de que todos nós estamos juntos e eu queria saber de ti o que é que um mundo muito distante do outro pode fazer pelo outro para que a gente consiga atingir essa nova economia.
What I was trying to explain that we have institutions built, Like, for example, an institution like banking. Banking is adopted and practiced all over the world. But I said it is created in a way just to focus on making money. It doesn't have any social role to play. And I gave the example, I said the present system of banking is geared towards giving money to the people who have lots of money and don't give the money to the people who don't have money. I said that's the wrong thing to do. If you're the real banking, it should start with lending money to people who don't have money. That will be their first job to do. And once you have satisfied that, then go a little higher. If somebody has little money, then do go to them. The people who already have lots of money, they will be the last one to do that. But it's done in a completely different way. And they were saying it cannot be done. What I'm saying, that's a kind of an idea, but it cannot be practical. I said, well, let me try. So I started trying it. Create a bank, focus only on the poorest people. Not only the poorest people, but also poorest women, which is the most destitute, most kind of left out from the society. And it worked. And it became known as microcredit. And the idea has spread in many countries. It even come to Brazil. We are far, far away from Brazil, but idea has flown into Brazil, and many people got very interested in the work, and we do how to do that and so on. And now today, all over the world, you have those practical demonstrations how banking can be done, even for the poorest person. Why is it so important to give the money to the poor people? Because of the creativity that all individual human beings have. It's very important that we help individuals to unleash that creativity. And that can be done by turning into entrepreneur. Economic system says, get a good education and get a good job. I said, job is not the ultimate of human being. Human being is much bigger than job. Job limits human being. Job takes away your freedom, your independence of thinking, independence of action, because job means you follow the orders. Your boss orders you and you follow it up. If you don't, you'll be fired. That takes away the capacity of human being. Human beings are born as entrepreneurs. But to become an entrepreneur, you need finance. But the financial system, banking system, doesn't give you that. So we have to redesign the banking system so that anybody, anywhere, who wants to start a business, money is available to him or her so that he or she can transform those ideas into real action and be creative and can continue to grow. She's not or he's not obliged to fulfill the wishes of somebody who hired him.
Eu fico pensando se lá atrás, né, professor Yunus começou dentro da universidade, era professor de economia em Bangladesh e saiu, né, extrapolou as portas da universidade na vila próxima para entender como é que podia ajudar e começou a emprestar dinheiro a mulheres vulneráveis daquela comunidade, daquela vila, e começou emprestando $27. E o que eu queria saber era se lá atrás pensar que talvez você tenha começado a mudar o mundo fazendo uma coisa que você achava que era pequena. E eu queria saber se o seu conselho para quem quer mudar o mundo a partir do zero é também fazer uma coisa pequena pela sua comunidade. Se o segredo é esse, começar fazendo pouco e perto.
I would say like this, you imagine things. What kind of world you want? What kind of society you want? What kind of human beings you want? So think big, imagination. And I emphasize that imagination is the most important thing. First of all, it doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you anything. Simply sit down and think what kind of world that you want to have. If you imagine, it will happen. And that's the point I try to emphasize on the imagination part. The amazing thing is imagination has tremendous power. First of all, any journey of change begins with an imagination. So you have to imagine in a big way so that you can take steps to achieve that goal, the big one. Imagine big, and if you imagine, it will happen. If you don't imagine, it will never happen because you don't know what to do because you have not imagination behind it. So it's a very important thing that we encourage young people to imagine what kind of life he or she wants to have, what kind of world she wants to have. That's the kind of thing that come up. And then pursue that. And while you imagine the biggest possible scenario, but when you act, when you go into action, start the smallest possible action. Don't try to do the big thing first. You start with one little step. And I give the example of babies learning how to walk. When the first time the baby is walking, takes a tiny little steps and fall, but doesn't give up. Stands again and finally take the first step. And we all applaud. This is the first step of the baby. Starting from that first stop, you'll go to million miles. So if your million-mile journey you have to undertake, you have to take the first step. You cannot skip that. So I'm encouraging young people particularly, to think big, start very small. Because you know, if you can succeed in one little step, like the baby is standing up and taking the first step, the baby knows he or she can take the next step. Because it's the same, repetition. So most of the world's solution to the problem is repetition. Repeat what you have gained, what you have earned, and then you see whole world is conquered by your idea, because of your action and so on. So that's what I try to bring together, the bigness of the thing and the smallestness of action. And then don't give up. Because if you give up, then nothing will happen. Pursue your goal, pursue your objective, then it will happen.
E isso é o que você fez, né? E brevemente, assim, não sei se tão brevemente, mas no momento posterior à sua iniciativa que parecia pequena, de repente você estava perto de um gigante como a Danone, que chegou para resolver um problema que, além de emprestar dinheiro, mas um problema de saúde, né? Assim, eu li que as crianças emprestava-se dinheiro para as mães, mas as crianças não enxergavam à noite. Assim você descobriu que elas sofriam de cegueira noturna e começou a fazer um banco de sementes para que as mães pudessem plantar os seus alimentos e enriquecer a alimentação daquelas crianças. E depois veio um gigante como a Danone, convencendo investidores, funcionários, para estar perto. Então, é a chegada da iniciativa privada. Você acha que isso é um ponto crucial, um ponto de inflexão na sua história, assim, uma coisa que decidiu o futuro da sua história, a chegada da iniciativa privada de um gigante como a Danone?
Important thing is action, initiative, willingness to solve problem. Whether it comes from an individual person or collection of a person or a bigger collection called government. It's the same. It's who takes the initiative. So I do not distinguish between a public initiative or a private initiative or like that. It is the initiative that I want to take as a person. I'm not waiting for anybody else. I'm not waiting, why doesn't the government do it? Why should I have to do it? I said, let the government do whatever they want to do, but I take the action myself. And that's how these microcredit and everything. I was not saying government should create a bank to lend money to the poor people and demonstrate on the street. That's important. I'm not discouraging that. That's very important. But I have a role to play too. I can create my own initiative and do that. And I followed that path. And first lend money to few women in the village and very handful of people. I had no idea whether it's going to work or not, but I dared into it. And I was very happy that it worked. Since it worked, I just repeated it. I just became very bored, telling people that, look, it can be done. Let's do it together. So it is spread around the world. This is how it all began. Today, we talk about the world that we have created with existing conventional thoughts. We have created a world which is going to kill us. Environmental hazard that we have created. It will not let human beings survive on this planet for long. All the poverty that we have created and concentration of wealth that takes place on the top, because people in the bottom doesn't get anything, all the wealth goes to the top. Wealth is created. The question is who gets it? It's always, it gets to the top and people at the bottom remains empty. I said that system is wrong. We have to redesign that system. Otherwise, we cannot survive on this planet. Then massive unemployment. Unemployment comes not only for the economic reasons today right here, it's also because of the technology. The artificial intelligence is coming in a big way. It's just the beginning. But as artificial technology takes off, people have no role to play on this planet because they can do better, they can do cheaper, they do everything and much faster because their intelligence is far, far superior than human intelligence. So what is the role of human being in an artificial intelligence? They have no role to play. So they will be sort of garbage on this planet. I said, before it happens, still there is time. We draw a line so that our technology doesn't cross that line. If that crosses in any way, anywhere in the world, then we are finished because you cannot stop it. You can begin it, but you cannot stop it. It takes over everything because it can enhance its own creativity, enhance its own thinking process, faster in intelligence and so on. So we don't want to open the door. So this is the world that we have already created. I said we have to get out of this planet, get out of this world and create a new world, new civilization for us. And that new civilization will be a civilization based on 3 zeros. That's how the question of 3 zeros came. It will be zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero net carbon emission. So we will make sure it gets cleared right there. And then we are encouraging the young people, start small. You have to create a big world, but you cannot just jump there. You have to take the first step, crawling. You have to first try to stand up. So you start taking that, and it can be done. It's within your capacity. It's not that, oh, I have not enough learning, I have not understood that book yet. Don't worry about it. As long as you have an imagination, you can take the action. And you say create 3-0 clubs. Club is a very interesting format. We say 5 young people get together and create a 3-0 club. And the 3-0 club members will, what they will do, make promises to themselves, I will not contribute to global warming. Because global warming is created because I contribute, you contribute, everybody else contribute. That's how we have the global warming. So in 3-0 club, as a club member, I decide I am not going to contribute to global warming. I'm not going to use fossil fuel. I'm not going to use plastic, etc., etc. Then I become free from contribution to global warming. I will not contribute to poverty because my action creates poverty. We say poverty is something different. It's not. What I do gets into the life of the person who is suffering. So I said, I will not be responsible for that because I don't want to do that. I do not want unemployment. I don't want to open the door for artificial intelligence. So once I achieve that in my personal life, then I become a 3-0 person. And my club members, my friends, they all follow, all work together, become 3-0 person. Then these 5 people are not responsible for all the problems that we create. Rest is easy. If you can do that, then all we have to do, repeat. Keep on repeating, more clubs, and more 3-0 persons. We'll have a 3-0 world. That's the direction we want to go. And we want to start with the zero waste. Now we buy things which you need or not. New fashion came, let's do that. That is destroying this planet. First principle of zero waste is refuse. Don't want to buy, don't want to get things that I don't need, etc., etc. Once you have done that, if you still need something, say reduce. If you have to buy it as little as possible because you want desperate to get something, little thing. And reuse. Whatever you bought, reuse them. Don't throw it away. Repurpose. You bought for wearing it as a one-time item, then use it for a basket and something else. But repurpose it. Change your purpose, but still keep it in the system. Recycle. Turn into something else. And still within the system. But don't throw it away. The moment you throw it away, it becomes an enemy. It kills you. So we have to create a zero waste generation completely because older people, we got used to lifestyle that we have. We cannot change very easily. But young people can do that. They start with their idea, I don't need it. If you want to give me a gift, thank you very much, keep it. Because this will create problem for me. I don't know how to dispose it of, because I want to make sure that it is not wasted. The moment it becomes a waste, I contribute to destroy this planet. So I don't want to participate in that. So these are the commitments you start as a young person. And once you do that, you can continue this club. We'll have a new world of 3 zeros.
Eu queria terminar a gente falando sobre o Museu da Pobreza, né? A ideia de que a gente quer que as gerações futuras, nossos filhos e netos, precisem ir a museus para ver o que era viver na miséria, ver o que era viver na pobreza. E qual é o grande desafio, já que a pobreza ela é filha da desigualdade, qual é a grande tarefa que a gente tem que fazer para alcançar esse objetivo de levar a pobreza para o museu?
Yes, we can create that poverty museum. First of all, poverty is not created by poor people. It's not coming from the poor people, their behavior, or their some fault in them. It's nothing like that. Poverty is created by the system that we built around us. That is contributing to creation of poverty. So if you want to address poverty, you have to go back to the system that we built. Change that system, and there'll be no poverty. And I talk about poor people as like bonsai people. There's nothing wrong with their self, their seed, but simply society put the seed in a flower pot. When you take the seed of a tallest tree and put it in a flower pot, you have a little tree. It doesn't grow very much because you put the seed in a flower pot. We call them bonsai. It's a cute little thing we all love, but we don't question why this is a bonsai. Bonsai because we didn't give enough nourishment to the seed so that it could grow as tall as the forest tree. So human beings who we call poor people, they are the bonsai people. There's nothing with their seed, nothing wrong with their seed. Simply society never gave them the space to grow as tall as everybody else. So we have to go back and change the system so that everybody can grow as tall as that. We have to change the system of banking, for example. We have to change the system of thinking about entrepreneurship. Today, we're all told that you have to go find a job. Finding a job is the ultimate in your life. What we do in Bangladesh to the young people, I said, you always remind yourself as you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. I'm an entrepreneur. So I will never accept a job in my life because I'm an entrepreneur. So every young person, every child grow up knowing that he or she is an entrepreneur. So schools will tell how to become an entrepreneur, what are the steps to take, and there'll be financial institutions waiting for you. You come up with a business idea, I invest in you. So financial institution will be chasing you rather than you chasing the financial institution. So you have to turn it around completely. Then everybody will be entrepreneur. That's what happened to the poor women in Bangladesh when we gave this little money to Grameen Bank. We gave her the money, suddenly she said, okay, I'll start a business. No matter how many billions of people are born on this planet, each one has a unique thumbprint. Not only he or she has a unique thumbprint, she is a unique person. So why that unique person should disappear without making any contribution whatsoever in their life, enjoying this life, enjoy the offering of their creativity, change the world. That's where we come, talk about creating the world which will have poverty museum. Since we remove those problems, there will be no person who will be a poor person. So in order for the future generation to see what poverty is like, you go to poverty museum. Like today we go to the dinosaur museum. Dinosaur doesn't exist anymore, disappeared. So poverty will disappear and we go to poverty museum to find out how it happened. And we'll feel very sorry that our previous generations made this kind of thing happen to other people. So that's a lesson we should be learning for all the time to come.
So thank you so much for your time. It's a very, very big day for me, for my life, for our life as a team, as I said. And I hope you see you again.
I hope so. Look forward to seeing you. And come and visit us in Bangladesh too.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Tá bom.
Thank you.
Então, esse foi o Pode Impactar. Estive aqui, sou Mariana Marques, estive aqui hoje com o professor Muhammad Yunus, um economista bengali que foi o primeiro economista do mundo a ganhar um Nobel da Paz. Um grande dia para nós. Queria que você acompanhasse os outros episódios do Pode Impactar pelas plataformas do Diário do Nordeste. Dizer que sua companhia é muito valiosa para nós. Obrigado pela sua audiência, obrigado pela sua companhia. E a gente se vê. Um beijo grande e até a próxima.
Beach Park. A onda é ser feliz agora. Apresentou Pode Impactar com Mariana Marques. Patrocínio Instituto Aço Cearense e M. Dias Branco. Realização Somos Um, articuladora de negócios de impacto.